we think we should contribute something to society, how we can link those people who are in the same mindset, and mostly the students.
Make our parents understand what we really want to do in life, not to make it more complicated, but to work for a community.
Know how the tribal people have fallen prey for the climate change as well as the urbanization process.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for sharing your experience on working with the community in Maharashtra. And also explaining about the evolution of your trust, Lok Biradari, and also the growth of the tribes that you have been working with, and also the establishment of the animal orphanage. You seem to have actually created an ecosystem of your own there. So thank you so much, sir, for that. And we can have the floor is open for questions now. If there are any questions, please wait for the mic and please be loud and clear.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Your speech was very inspirational, and I was wondering that how a single person can protect a community, and that's very inspiring. And my question is, here we have a lot of students over as audience. Each one of us think that we should contribute something to the society, but when it comes to reality, everyone hesitate to do so, because if something bad happens, they will become liable. And if something happens, they will become liable, and some cases may be given over there. So they think a lot about that. So if we think we should contribute something to society, how we can link those people who are in the same mindset, and mostly the students?
Actually, I give my own example, exposure was important. We live in a city and we read about tribal. This is a huge population. Tribal, almost 10 crores of people, tribal people live in India. But we read in the book that they live on and in tubers, roots, and hunting animals. But how actually they live, nobody knows about their life, So my father, Baba Amte, who was a very great philanthropist, who started work with leprosy, and then he added every deformity, all those Divyanga, differently able people in Anandvan, which is physically handicapped and then blind, dumb and deaf and blind and whatnot. But he also thought of this type. So he purposely took us on the name of picnic to show us the life of a tribal people. And suddenly, we all were so stunned, to looking at their life. People like you and me are living like animals. They have no clothes to wear, almost like Digambar. Digambar Jain, they are by choice. And these are by circumstances, they are Digambar. They have never seen cotton. But nothing to eat. How much forest would give them? Since ages they were hunting animals, birds, snakes, ants, whatnot. So there was a malnutrition. So that exposure, picnic turned into this project. That was turning point in my life. So purposely, intentionally, one must go and see such. Because, I don't know, but your textbook, the first page, there is a oath side of it. We are all Indians and all Indians are my brothers. There is a oath in every school. And you read that every day. But actually how they lead the life, nobody sees. So that exposure is important. Then the subconscious mind, you think about your own life. These are our brothers and sisters living like this, and we have everything all sufficient, but still we are complaining. So that particular impression someday probably may turn their life to serve for the society or serve our country. That's how I feel from my own example. Then my wife, she had never seen tribal people. She is from Nagpur. Because of love marriage, she joined me. But she could have gone back. Because the place where there was a small hut, very small hut to live after the wedding, just 1 year after the marriage. And no friends to talk, no electricity for 22 years, no telephone for 25 years. Still, she lived without complaint because she accepted me as a partner and she had given word. She said she had no right to, go back and then leave me alone there. But that can happen. Then some of the volunteers from taking inspiration from Baba, they are also become a family member. They are also from cities. One is from Pune, one is from Alkapur and Aurangabad and whatnot. But they all stayed as a single family in Hemalkasa, having common kitchen, eating only rice and dal. Still, the common kitchen is going on. Everybody in the project with their children eat the same food, whatever is prepared there with by the local cook. The cook was, of course, trained by my wife, local tribal cook, and they decide what is the food today, and the bell rings every day. So that is how the community life they have accepted, because we never complained about the deficiencies. We always compared the deficiency of the people in spite of all non-availability of the things, so-called. They never complained. Another thing about this tribal community is that in spite of poverty, they never beg. There is no robbery or they never steal anything. This is a great thing. And then the most important thing is that people call them backward, But in their community, there is no rape. They have their community living. If something goes wrong, they have their own panchayat. Yeah. Even pre-married pregnancy is not a taboo. If the girl is by mistake become pregnant before marriage, there is a meeting, and she tells who is the culprit, and then the panchayat decides about either he should marry her, or if he is not going to marry, he should pay fine to her parents. It's so simple, practical. So that way, exposure is most important. Our life is completely changed. Otherwise, we would have served the leprosy patient in Anandavan. But this was nothing planned. That picnic has changed our life. And life not of myself and my wife, but thousands of youths of India.
नमस्कार सर.
Namaskar.
नमस्कार मॅम. सर वाढदिवसाच्या हार्दिक शुभेच्छा सर्वांसाठी. Sir, I'm myself Mukesh. I'm a doctor. I'm an MDS student right now. I'm from Maharashtra and I'm doing my degree over here, post graduation. So my question is very little bit of complicated one, sir. What I want to ask is, sir, am I audible? Sir, what I am asking, like, our generation, this generation which is far, like, we are always complaining, first of all. We are always striving for betterment.
Yeah.
We always want to be better in our field. Like they say, like a human when he was born, he was just meant to be happy. But our aim, our goal have made our life complicated. Like right now I am 30 years old, sir, but still I am doing my education. People, when you are of my age, sir, mostly you might have been married by this age, because some things should be done on proper time. When things go ahead, we always lack and we always keep complaining, I have lost here, I have lost there. And when we are in school age, sir, around 13 years, 14 years old, we are being told to work for the community. Like become a good person, become an engineer, become a lawyer, become a doctor. Most of all, be a good human. Go to the tribal area, work for them. But the thing is, like, how do we make our parents understand this condition? Like we also want to work for the community. We also want to work and stay with the people who are suffering from leprosy, psoriasis, to whom people are completely ignoring. Our generation, sir, will understand, but sometimes even our parents won't understand. Like always comes a casteism will always come, sir. Like suppose if I am a Brahmin person, my parents, when they will always be thinking, if I go and sit next to a scheduled caste person, which happens in my village, sir. Like these are the stories I always keep hearing from my parents. So how do we make our parents understand what we really want to do in life? Not to make it more complicated, but to work for community. Sir, anyways, my profession, I am a doctor. So anyways, I am going to treat the patient. But our ultimate goal is to have a peaceful life, to be away from this city life. We will be always thinking like the loan amount which we have taken for education. How do we fulfill it if we just go and work towards a tribal community? Because the bank, the government won't be that much grateful towards us. So, what is your suggestion, sir? Like, how you suggest us to think in a better way?
Again, again, I would tell that visiting certain projects, uh, will definitely make some difference in your life. You always think about the other side of the society. You may go to up to money, but still you are not satisfied. So need and greed, of course, as Gandhiji said, I have not read much about Gandhiji, but need and greed, where to stop? Yeah, that is the first thing. But if people think that, what can I do? There are disturbances everywhere. How can I change it? But starting with one person, probably that will change his life. And that after change life will give you satisfaction, not the money. Money, of course, you require for your survival and enjoyment and all these things. That is your right. So there is no question about that. But if living in India, which is such an inequality, as you wrote about casteism, and then lower income group people and all. So everybody has to think about that, about the society, about the country. In spite of living good life of their own, but that is most important that you should visit some of the projects which are run by for the lower income group, for the leprosy patient, for HIV affected people. I'll tell you one thing, that Baba's work is more important than leprosy work, is that inspiration to the youth. And in Maharashtra, at least 80 NGOs have been started by different youths. They have taken inspiration from Baba, but working independently of their own for HIV affected people, orphanage, farmer suicide, children of farmer suicide parents. So many youths are taking inspiration from Baba's work and from Hemalka sir, actually. A lot of people come here and there are a lot of invitation for both of us for interaction like this. But at least you have to decide about yourself. Greed and need, that is most important. How much we require, how much. So happiness can't be brought with money. It cannot be bought with money. So that for that you have to give something to the society, and that will give you satisfaction.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Small question. Our population is more than 142 crores.
Yeah.
And we have exceeded. Our land is also only 3 million square kilometers. Then how can the organization, your organization, will try to reduce the population? That is my question. Thank you very much, sir.
Actually, we went to that area. The population was declining, because of the cut-off area of a tribal area which was cut off from the world. So there was no record, but population was declining. When we started the hospital, when there was awareness about health, and then we could survive, we could save the life of the children. We started with male vasectomy family planning program in a tribal area. And I can tell you proudly that probably is the highest incidence of vasectomy. In the cities, nobody go for vasectomy, they go for tubectomies. So if we could convince the tribal people that now, since you have health facilities, you go for vasectomy, so you have limited children and you can grow them very well. So that way, this is a political problem. If you family planning can be family can be controlled by the political will. Both, I think. I mean, not only family planning, but the environment. A lot of destruction of environment, and then because of the population, there is more destruction of the nature. And you see a lot of disasters. And you read in the paper that they have broken the 100 years record of flood and fire and whatever it is. Joshimath is going down. So various disasters, natural disasters, the intensity is increasing. That is because of the increase in population and destruction of nature. So everybody should think about this, curtailing their needs and saving the environment, or growing more trees. That is the only solution, I think.
Good evening, sir. Thank you for this great opportunity. Thank you. So thank you for seeing you and for sharing your experience. It was very inspirational, especially for youngsters like us. I'm a law student, sir, and I'm currently doing a research in the lives of tribal people in correlation with the impacts that the climate change have created in their lives, sir. Since you have directly interacted with the tribal people from your early stages, that is from 60s to 70s, what I want to know is that uh, from that period to until now, you are in relation with those people, and I just need to know what are the impacts created upon them due to the climate change, sir, and how it is how they are being affected due to that problem, since it is an upcoming problem and everyone are raising awareness regarding climate change. And I just want to know how the tribal people have fallen prey for the climate change as well as the urbanization process that the so-called civilized people are undertaking, sir.
One thing I can say that we have seen a lot of change, is almost transformation in their life. Uh, but in spite of taking education, higher education, many of students have become lawyers, professors, doctors. 70 to 80% of educated students have come back to their own district, serve their population, because they have seen the life of their own life, parents' life here, and they have taken education in the cities. In spite of taking education in the cities, they have opted for their own district coming up. So this is a good sign. In fact, they are not what you call that, they are going to the cities or different places rather than living their own community. So that is one good thing about this tribal community. They are not so. Otherwise, there is an onslaught of civilization. The mobile has come there. There is no electricity. There is a lot of disadvantage about these modern gadgets. But in spite of that, they still want to come back to and serve their own community. And rest, of course, I can't say I'm not. Intellectual for that to decide what to do and what not. As far as our life is concerned, we have decided we should do this thing. And our children, my own children, of course, they have come back and they are serving the community. And all the tribal, 70 to 80% of girls, 50% of girls are educated. And they are more aware about their rights rather than the girls in different rural areas in India. They have more independent. That's what we have seen. We have learned a lot of them. This community, they lead a simple life. Their demands are less. I think we should take something from their life. So the rest of the thing, of course, I can't tell you. I'm not. Good at giving lectures. So thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Let's have one last question and we'll end with that.
Sir, I'm also a law student, sir. I have one doubt, sir. There is a high societal pressure for this generation, especially we belong to an urbanized metropolitan. We are living in urbanized and metropolitan life. So our parents have invested a lot of money for our education. So they are expecting us to give us a fast profits for that. Since I'm a law student, if I take legal aid cases for these for upholding the rights of these tribal people, I will not be able to make so much of profits. But I want to leave this. I want to do service for the tribal people with respect to protecting their rights. So my question is, sir, if we are facing failures and frustration out of these social tension, if it is giving us failure and frustration, how should we handle it, sir? How did you handle it, sir?
You should have a lot of tolerance, first of all. Yeah, the thing is that which we had experienced a lot of tolerance. Otherwise, we could not have survived in that area. First 2 years, nobody was coming to the hospital. So we had to roam into different villages, learn their language, learn their culture, and don't impose our ideas on them. We never impose our ideas. It was a gradual change in their life, And it was changing. We have changed ourselves, basically. We curtail our needs to a minimum. And of course, that is difficult. In fact, it's not so easy. But doing that, we led a very good life. Spending 50 years in that forest was not a joke, in fact. So, but somehow, your question is that our lawyers, tribal lawyers, they have taken education in Pune. And then almost 2 or 3 lawyers have come back and they are serving their own community there. They about their rights and all. So more and more students are required, youths are required. But you people, youths like you can change the life of the people. But you start from the scratch. Basically, you have to start from the scratch. And then have a lot of tolerance. That is the most important thing. If you can get frustrated very early, then there is no point in starting a work. So that is the first and foremost need of a thing is that have a tolerance. Yeah, a lot of yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for everyone who asked questions, and sorry for the people who couldn't ask questions. Thank you so much for answering everything, sir. We'll have Mr. Harshad, Principal Secretary, to honor our chief guest right now.